Let's build an entire film studio for less than $200. Yeah, it's possible. But first, we've got to break down the fundamental elements that make up every video production. And it's just three things. We need video, we need audio, and we need some way to put all the pieces together. So more specifically, we need a camera, right, to capture the video, the image. We need a microphone or some type of audio recording device. And of course, we need some editing software that we'll put on our computer to be able to cut things up and export the final product. Now, if you want to take it a step further, I'm also going to recommend some lights as well. There's certainly a ton you can do creatively with natural light, from bouncing light around, reflecting, refracting, diffusing, all of these things that you can do for free with natural light, a lot of times just using a bed sheet or a mirror. However, we've got $200 to spend, and I'm actually going to include some lights in there as well. So this should be a pretty fun project to talk about. Now, one disclaimer before we go any further, I have to say this studio does assume that you already have a computer. I don't care if it's a PC, a Mac, a desktop, laptop, doesn't matter. As long as it turns on and stays on, we can use that computer for today. Now, I'm also assuming that you have a smartphone of some kind, new, old, I don't care. As long as your smartphone is capable of taking video and exporting that video onto a computer, that is what we're looking for. So you may be surprised to hear that you have some of these things already, but I do have a few other things that we're going to throw in to complete this $200 studio and get you up and running in no time. So let's get started with the very first thing that you're going to need for your studio, and that is, of course, your camera. So going back to the smartphone thing, I don't want to disappoint you. Hopefully this should be encouraging, but your smartphone, again, I don't care how old or new it is worlds better than some of the greatest cameras that were invented decades ago. Right? You have a supercomputer in your pocket, and to be able to just pull that out at any time and capture great video is pretty incredible. So we're going to start with that, right? We're going to start with our iPhone. You could put it horizontally if you want to take a nice 16:9 video. If you're doing a lot of stuff for social media, you can flip it vertically and do stuff with that as well. But in our editing software, you're going to be able to change the coloring around. You're going to be able to squash things, crop things, and make the type of video that you're looking for. Now, I will say, if you do have a newer smartphone, I can't speak so much to the Galaxies and the Googles and all the other stuff that's out on the market today. I pretty much only used iPhone at this point. A lot of the iPhones are shooting in log format and competing with some of these cinema quality cameras. It's unbelievable in terms of dynamic range and color quality. There's a lot of stuff that you can be doing in that. So play around with your settings. I may even talk about that sometime in the future. Okay, so now that we have our camera, we need a way to capture audio. And so we're looking for a microphone here. I'm almost always going to recommend an external microphone, an external shotgun condenser microphone that you put close to your subject to capture the clarity and the warmth of their voice. Your iPhone does have a speaker built into it, right? But depending on where you set that up in your room, there's a lot of distance between you and the camera. And so you're going to be picking up a lot of the reflections in the room, a lot of the room tone. If you got an air conditioner running, all that stuff seems to be boosted. And so we don't want to use that mic. You want something that's either clipped on, like a lavalier mic clipped onto your subject while they're speaking, or some type of external shotgun mic that you can put on a boom stand and place around the room. Now, since we're only talking about a $200 budget here for this studio, I'm going to recommend you head over to Amazon and check out their lavalier mics. They're just clip-on mics, and a lot of them have a receiver that will click into the base of your phone if you have USB-C or Thunderbolt, or some probably even go into the headphone jack. But I would just peruse Amazon. The one that I found for this example cost somewhere around $79. I believe it gave you 2 lav mics and a receiver. So that's where we're going to be starting for our audio. Now, the next thing you're going to want to look for is a lighting kit of some kind. Now, I did mention a lot of the creative things that you can do with natural light for free, but what if you're shooting indoors or you're in an office setting and there are no windows you have access to? You're going to need some way to light your subject. And the last thing you want to use is the overhead lighting. It's just not very flattering, causes these really harsh, ugly shadows. We don't want to be using that light. So you'll kill your overhead lights. You'll get some nice soft boxes that you can place around your subject to create the look that you're going for. In fact, the light that you see coming on me right now is just a cheap softbox I bought on Amazon a couple of years ago. And the beautiful thing is a lot of the options that they have on there that are super affordable even let you change the color temperature to warm up that white light or cool it down depending on your room and the look that you're going for. I found a 2-light softbox kit on Amazon for $99. great deal, and that will be perfect for getting started with this $200 studio. So we've still got some money to spend. Where are we going to put it? Well, believe it or not, you don't even need to spend money on your editing software. That's what we're moving to next. And what I'm going to recommend for you is called DaVinci Resolve. They have a free version and a paid version. The free version unlocks just about everything that you'll ever need to use. I know some pros who have used the free version of DaVinci Resolve and created feature films. It's unbelievable what you have access to there. The paid option gives you some additional things that you might use later down the road, but get started understanding a real video editing software right inside of DaVinci Resolve. That's what I'm going to recommend for you, and it doesn't cost a thing. And the last thing we're going to need to spend money on is a tripod for your phone. Now, I hesitate to even bring this up because you can creatively build a tripod out of a stack of books on a table. You can hang fishing line from the ceiling. You can come up with some creative and free ways to hold your phone up while filming. However, I found a tripod on, you guessed it, Amazon for less than 20 bucks. You might as well just invest in a tripod that's going to make your life a heck of a lot easier. It'll let you turn it landscape. It'll let you flip it vertically. I've been using an iPhone tripod that I found on Amazon for a couple of years now, and it works great. So I would highly recommend that. Now, friend, we have spent $19, we'll say, on our tripod for our phone, $99 in our lighting kit, and $79 in our microphone system. I believe that brings us to $197 total. So we are under $200 for a full film studio. Now, friend, if you're interested in learning more about the gear needed to build out a professional film studio, maybe you have more than $200 to spend, download my free film studio gear guide at guidedproductions.com/studio gear guide, or click the link in the description below. I walk through every single component of a professional film studio, starting with $0 all the way to $4,200, so that you can fit all of the components in that directly match your budget or at your stage of the video journey. So go download your free guide. It's my free gift to you for spending some time with me here today. Go build out your $200 or more studio, and I will see you on another video real soon.